Okay. I don't know if you can see me, but often have people say, how do you cook for your dogs? So I don't think you can see me, but maybe you can see what I'm doing. When I cook for my dogs, even when I cook for myself, I don't, unless I'm making a cake, typically follow a recipe. So I put some water in a pot. I'll probably put about 6 to 8 cups. And turn the fire on. Oops, get it going. Okay, so I had a garden this summer, and I never put poison on my anything. But this is squash. Doesn't even have to be cut up that small because once it's soft, it all just mushes together. And you can make this really clean, like you would eat it too, because it really smells good. And I know I just automatically are cutting the ends off. You don't have to cut the ends off when you're cooking for your dog, right? So, here's the thing. If you do a little research and see what's in dog food, you would never feed your dogs dog food. And this is a old, the squash has been picked for 3 or 4 days, and it's not something I would even grill. It's a little... And so when your zucchini looks like a baseball bat, it's a good time to cook it for dogs. And again, people are like, oh, well, I don't know how good it is. Trust me. If you knew what was in dog food, this looks like amazing stuff. Not really when you're talking about dog food. Sometimes it's not the ingredients they use, although if you saw what was in dog food, you'd be horrified and never feed it to your dog. Most dog food, saying. It's the preservatives. They have to put preservatives on it, right? And dog food is like this, if you didn't know, or if you didn't know. It's kind of like potato chips. Do you know potato chips, if you've ever seen them manufacturing of potato chips, they spray, like the last thing they do is spray that potato chips with oil. So you think that a potato chip, they fried it in oil. That's not how they make potato chips, but you can look that up. I had some tomatoes over here, but dogs don't like tomatoes. I had an eggplant. So when you're cooking for a dog, think about this. Dogs were created to eat the dead and dying. That's why they can eat dog food at all. Not to say that dog food doesn't cause horrible issues, immune issues, kidney issues, skin issues, and eventually it kills your dog. This is an eggplant, and the only reason I'm putting this in there is because I had bought it to grill for my vegan help when we grill steak, and say, that's delicious. He eats his eggplant and says, that's delicious. So I'm putting it in here not to waste it, right? So you could put carrots in here. So here's another thing. I hope this video turns out. I hope I'm not talking for nothing here. I usually have a pot this big. This is, I'm putting too much stuff in this little pot. This is my personal soup pot. I forgot what I was saying. Yummy eggplant. I'm going to put some sweet potatoes in here. Oh, here's what I was going to say. So some people say, well, I feed my dogs sliced carrots. Well, I'm not saying you might as well feed them gravel, but it is that much nutrition, because unless you break the cell tissue wall, the dog cannot get any nutrition from that raw carrot that you gave them. Now, if you want to feed them carrots and you want them to get the vitamin A from the carrots, put it in your Vitamix and make a liquid out of it and pour it over their food. You have to break the cell tissue wall. So, sweet potatoes. So you can do this over a stove, like I've got a fire underneath this, or you can do this in a crock pot, and I like to do it in a crock pot, especially in the winter because it warms the house a little bit. I just put all my sweet potatoes in there, let them cook a few hours, then I put my rice and usually put a chicken leg and thigh. I mean, we can get chicken leg and thighs for 59 cents a pound, so I get 10-pound bags, and we feed that raw, so we buy 400 pounds of chicken at a time. And I have some elk thawed out right now, so I'll probably put elk meat in this. So I don't know what I'm saying. Oh, if you want to do it in the crock pot, it's really nice because then you come home and it's just all done and you have a week's worth of food. Lay it out, cool it on a cookie sheet, and put it in some Ziploc bags, and you can freeze it, and there you go. So I've actually got this tube full, and I have got gobs of baseball size squash left. Squash from my garden. So if I'm going to put a lid on this and cook it, I'll probably cook it an hour, and then fill, like my pots are usually real big, a lot more water, because I'm going to fill it with rice, and the brown rice is a little more nutritious than white rice. It's just a filler, but trust me, again, it's more nutritious than you're getting, more nutrition than you're getting in a bag of dog food. I'm not quite sure there's this much real meat in a whole 40-pound bag of dog food. It's just advertising. So you can, you know, this is olive oil. You can go with some olive oil. You don't want to do too much bacon grease, but I'm from the South, and my husband cooked bacon yesterday, and they love bacon grease. So, like a good Southern cook, I'm gonna put a little bacon grease in here. Not a lot, and I know some of my vets will go, "You're gonna cause them to have pancreatitis putting bacon grease in there." Well, you may cause them to have pancreatitis from eating Old Roy, but so here's the problem with dog food, besides all the preservatives and the first ingredients that they're using in it. I forgot what I was going to say. I should do better, huh? It'll come to me because that's the way I am. Oh, the grease that they spray on this dog food so that the dogs will even eat it is so nasty. A lot of times the grease, they're getting this grease from like restaurants, those huge barrels out back. When their grease is so gross they can't fry in it anymore, they sell it to the dog food companies. That's what your dogs are eating. So I'm going to click this. So just remember, there is no great recipe. I do salt this. It's already getting hot. Because dogs like salt, and it does bring the flavors out. And think also about any kind of vegetable or rice. It's not going to taste yummy until you get the fat in it. Just like we put dressing on salad and butter on potatoes. Brings that flavor out. That's what we're doing with a little bit of oil in here. And I need my bigger pot because I don't have room. Let me pick this up to show you what I got going on here. Oops, sorry. To say if I put a chicken, you could put even 2 quarters in there if you wanted it really yummy to taste. Obviously, you take your cooked bones out. Please do not feed your dog cooked bones. So you're going to take out, it's really easy. The leg has 1 bone and that little thing, and then the thigh bone. And when this is all soft, and it's going to have to cook down, you're going to stir it up because it's going to be all soft. And if your meat was in there, you just stir it all together. So, one more product that I use, let me go get that. When I'm just feeding raw meat, I put a mixture of calcium and gelatin and vitamin C, ester C on it. And typically longevity, which is spirulina, and here's some spirulina that I take. I love this springtime product. Just to add some vitamins, you know, spirulina is green pond scum or chlorella, same thing. It's really high in concentrated in vitamins. I mean, think about a cow eats grass all day long, right? So, how do you cook? I guess I could write a recipe. Dogs don't really like tomatoes. Leave your onions and tomatoes out. But you can definitely put a little salt on this. And if I'm going to cook some meat in this, I'll put a little salt on it. I don't typically oversalt my food, so I don't oversalt the dog's food. And they don't need the salt, it just makes it taste better. Put some meat and some rice in that. Put a lid on it. Definitely put a lid on it. There is no specific right or wrong. White potatoes are just like white rice. There is no nutritional value, but it's kind of starchy. You can put them in there anyway. And if you get your produce from the store, scrub it good with a green scratch pad to get all the poison off you can before you start cooking. So 10 minutes later, I don't know if anybody's even finished this video. Here, see if it'll turn around. It won't. Okay.